Hello there. Welcome to another video from Fresh Shelves Healthy Pantry. Here's what you'll learn first today. First, we'll go over fats. Then we'll talk about lean proteins. Finally, we'll share some tips to help you encourage healthy options in your food pantry. Please remember that we can pause the video at any time if you have questions. Fat often gets a bad rep in the media. But are fats actually bad for us? Not necessarily, and healthy fats actually need to be a part of your diet. We need some fat, but too much fat or the wrong kind of fat in the diet can cause problems. There are both good fats and bad fats. So when we make decisions about what to eat, we need to be mindful of which type of fat is in what food. What are good fats? Unsaturated fats are good fats. They are an essential part of a healthy diet. Good fats provide energy. They're actually the most concentrated source of energy compared to the other food groups. Good fats help with brain function. Good fats help us absorb some vitamins. What are bad fats? Saturated fats are bad fats. Diets that are high in saturated fats raise bad cholesterol levels in the blood. The bad cholesterol is called low-density lipoprotein cholesterol, or LDL. High LDL cholesterol levels increase the risk for coronary heart disease. What will happen if we have too much bad fat? Fats are a concentrated source of calories. In other words, foods that contain a lot of fat also contain a lot of calories. Eating more calories than we need on a daily basis can cause us to gain weight. Overweight and obesity can then lead to cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and other health problems. In addition, excess intake of bad fats causes our bodies to produce too much cholesterol, which can lead to heart disease. What are some examples of good and bad fats? Good fats are usually liquid fats, like those in oils, peanut butter, nuts, and seeds, foods that come from plants. Bad fats are usually solid fats like butter, margarine, fats and meat, fried foods, and packaged snacks like tasty cakes, cookies, donuts, and chips. You'll remember that we're focusing on proteins for the first phase of our project. So why talk about fats all of a sudden? Some protein-rich foods are high in saturated fat. These include fatty cuts of beef, pork, and lamb, most ground beef, 75% to 85% lean, sausages, hot dogs, and bacon, some luncheon meats, such as regular bologna and salami, and some poultry, such as duck. To help keep blood cholesterol levels healthy, limit the amount of these foods you eat. Even though animal products have a ton of protein, they can also be high in saturated fat. This is especially true if they are fried or highly processed, like fried chicken or hot dogs. Plant proteins are lower in saturated fat, lower in calories, and higher in fiber. They are a smart choice for people who want to have a healthy weight. If you're on a budget, plant proteins are the way to go. Beans, chickpeas, and lentils are usually much cheaper than animal products. Plus, they are rich in fiber, which means they will keep you full and satisfied for a long time. In this video, we went over some examples of foods that are low in saturated or bad fats. It might be difficult to keep all of this information in mind, and some foods often have several ingredients. For foods that you're not so sure about the saturated fat content, you can always check the nutrition label. At Fresh Shelves Healthy Pantries, we consider foods that have 2 grams or less of saturated fats in one serving to be lower in saturated fat. In other words, you should highlight foods and drinks that have 10% or less of your daily value for saturated fats per serving. Now that you know all about lean and low sodium proteins, it's time to think about how you can help your clients choose these options in your pantry. One way to help your clients to learn more about lean and low sodium proteins is to give them some tips on how they can use these foods in their meals. Here are some examples. Grilled chicken and turkey are lower in fat than many other types of meat and taste great with condiments like mustard or light mayo. Although chicken and turkey are healthier than beef or pork, we understand that you might want to make these options available to your clients. If you want to order beef or pork, choose ground beef that is at least 85% lean or pork tenderloin. Eggs are useful in many recipes, and they have a lot of protein. You can add hard-boiled eggs to salads or subs, use eggs in omelets, or put eggs on your toast. Go for low-fat milk such as 1%, 2%, or skim milk. Many people think that whole milk tastes better than low-fat milk, but when they did a taste test without knowing which kind they were drinking, most people liked 1% best. Some plant-based options that are high in protein are beans, chickpeas, lentils, and nuts. Your clients can opt for peanut butter instead of butter on their toast or beans instead of meat in a wrap. Nuts and seeds have fat, but it's the good kind. Pecans are especially popular in Thanksgiving cooking. Try to eat no more than a handful of nuts in a day, as nuts and seeds are still high in calories. If your food pantry is short on refrigerator or freezer space, you might have to stock canned chicken or canned tuna. Next time you are placing an order, make sure that the chicken and tuna are in water instead of oil. These options are lower in fat. Legumes. Beans, chickpeas, and lentils are filling and rich in protein. Dried legumes have less sodium than canned versions. However, canned legumes are much easier to cook with, as you don't need to soak them overnight or cook them for a long time. If you want to stock canned beans, lentils, or chickpeas as well as the dried kind, choose the low sodium or no salt added options. You can also encourage your clients to try out lean and low sodium proteins by suggesting them some meal ideas. Next time you are helping clients pick food from the pantry, think about what makes a healthy meal. Here are some lean, low sodium meal combos that are high in protein. For breakfast, plain oatmeal with low-fat milk, nuts, apples, and cinnamon, or whole wheat toast or bagels with 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. For lunch, grilled chicken breast with a side of vegetables, or a turkey sub on a whole wheat bun with mustard and tomatoes. For dinner, lean hamburgers on whole wheat buns with low-fat cheese, lettuce, and tomato and a side of veggies, or bean soup with seasonal vegetables and low-sodium vegetable stock. For snacks, sliced apples with peanut butter or low-fat yogurt, or low-fat cheese and turkey slices on unsalted crackers. What would you suggest to your clients? Nudging is another way you can help clients try healthy foods in your pantry. You might have noticed that in supermarkets, there are often shelf labels and displays promoting certain foods. In your pantry, we can use a similar strategy to highlight healthy foods. In a study, researchers observed 443 clients visiting a food pantry over 4 days. They saw that placing a healthy option near the entrance of a food pantry increased the selection of that food by about 46%. So it could be worth it to try nudging in your food pantry too. In this phase, we will rearrange your food pantry to display lean and low sodium proteins at eye level. We will also put up posters by lean and low sodium proteins so those options can catch you or your clients' eyes. As a reminder, here are the foods we're asking you to stock during our first phase. At least 1 type of fresh or frozen lean meat, such as skinless chicken breast, turkey, at least 85% lean ground beef or pork tenderloin, at least 1 type of dried beans, chickpeas, or lentils, at least 1 type of low-sodium canned beans, chickpeas, or lentils, at least 1 type of canned fish or chicken in water, at least 1 type of low-fat dairy, such as skim milk, low-fat cheese, or plain low-fat yogurt. And don't forget, we are asking you to stock at least 1 type of food or beverage from each of these categories in your food pantry. We are also asking you to stock enough of these items so that every client can receive at least 2 lean and low-sodium proteins. Thank you for watching our second video. Before we end our second manager training session, we have a short quiz for you. If you get any questions wrong, we will go over the correct answer to help you understand the concepts we went over today. Let's begin. Question 1. Which of these statements is correct? A. All fats are bad for our health. B. There are good fats and bad fats. C. Plant-based foods are high in bad fats. Or D. Fats are not a concentrated source of energy. The correct answer is B. There are good fats and bad fats. Question 2. What are some functions of good fats? A. They give us energy. B. They help us absorb certain vitamins. C. They help to prevent blindness in children. Or D. A and B. The correct answer is D. A. They give us energy, and B. They help us absorb certain vitamins. Question 3. Why should we avoid bad fats? A. They do not give us enough energy. B. Foods high in saturated fats are too expensive. C. Saturated fats can increase our risk of heart disease. Or D. None of the above. The correct answer is C. Saturated fats can increase our risk of heart disease. Question 4. Which one of these foods is typically high in saturated or bad fats? A. Hot dogs. B. Peanuts. C. Tofu. Or D. Turkey. The correct answer is A. Hot dogs. Question 5. Which one of these meats is a leaner option? A. Ground turkey, B. Bacon, C. Beef steak, or D. Pork ribs? The correct answer is A. Ground turkey. Question 6. Which one of these statements about plant proteins is correct? A. All of the protein-rich plant-based foods are very expensive. B. Some protein-rich plant foods are nuts, beans, lentils, and tofu. C. Plants do not have enough protein for a healthy diet. Or D. Plant proteins will not keep us full and satisfied for a long time. The correct answer is B. Some protein-rich foods are nuts, beans, lentils, and tofu. Question 7. How can you tell if a food is low in saturated fats? A. Look at the nutrition facts label. B. Pick foods with less than 2 grams of saturated fats per serving. C. Make sure it has less than 10% of the daily value for saturated fat in one serving. Or D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above. Question 8. What is not a good tip? A. You can soak dried beans, lentils, and chickpeas overnight to cut down on cooking time. B. Stock canned fish or chicken in water instead of canned beef stews. C. Avoid nuts and seeds because they have too much fat. Or D. You can try low-fat milk instead of whole milk. It tastes just as good. The correct answer is C. Avoid nuts and seeds because they have too much fat. Question 9. Which one of these meal ideas has lean and low sodium proteins? A. Bacon and egg sandwich. B. Plain oatmeal with low-fat milk, nuts, apples, and cinnamon. C. Turkey sub on whole wheat bun with mustard and tomatoes. Or D. Both B and C. The correct answer is D. Both B. Plain oatmeal with low-fat milk, nuts, apples, and cinnamon. And C. A turkey sub on a whole wheat bun with mustard and tomatoes. Question 10. How can we promote lean and low sodium proteins in your food pantry? A. Put up posters by the healthy options. B. Give suggestions to clients to try out meals with lean and low sodium proteins. C. Display lean and low sodium proteins at eye level. Or D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above.